Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Nef Sensei, by the way, who I believe is in the chat. Thankfully for us, though, he's not doing any of the observing. I am, so we're not going to miss anything throughout these series today. But shout out to Nef Sensei. See, he likes to come into the chat and he likes to motivate you, Jonathan, which kind of annoys me a little bit because I never see him say "Go Mike." It's always "Go John," which kind of upsets me a bit.
We analysts stick together, Mike. That's all it is. If you want some motivation, ask for it from Ricky. He's got your back. Nef's got my back.
I think calling yourselves analysts is a little bit of a stretch there, John. Let's be honest between you and Nef. Let's take it easy, all right?
Oh, Nef's gonna have some words for you when he catches up on that delay, Mike. He's gonna have a lot of words in our chat still.
We love
do
you,
see
Nef.
the rest of the bands? Oh yeah. The Terrorblade banned out, AM banned out, and Nick. So really protecting the Leshrac pick here on Motivate.Trust, ensuring that Gotcha Boy or Toy will have a good time with that hero. Polaris, they take care of the big cores that Toy is known for as well. Monkey King, Drow, and Wraith King. All heroes that we've seen Toy perform on, although not so much the Drow, but beforehand we did see a lot of the MK. We'll see what Motivate.Trust will have to fall back on. Polaris, back into the Bane. What can I say, Mike? You said it. He needed buffs. So if we didn't see enough of Bane in the last patch, we'll get more of him now.
Absolutely. Very, very good to see the Bane making its reappearance in the meta. Obviously, it's been a very long time since we've had the pleasure of seeing this hero. So, yeah, good to see, like you mentioned, John, that it got a buff and, it fills that spot that was missing in the meta, Motivate.Trust.
That does.
Io Leshrac.
I'm curious, Mike.
What is it, John?
I'm curious. You've had a lot of heroes that were buffed up. How do you feel about Clockwork having a leash in the cogs? Isn't that amazing? Do you like that? Do you think he's back?
No, I don't, John. No, to answer your question, no, I do not believe Clockwork is back in the meta. Is that what you wanted to hear?
He's got leash in cogs.
Yeah, he's got leash at level 20. Yeah, at level 20, because Clockwork's known to farm creep waves so often to get that XP. Yeah. Thanks, Ice Frog. So Bloodseeker Lion is well, John, I'd hate to say it again. There's another Bloodseeker in the game.
I will try to imagine a scenario where the Bloodseeker works. I don't think the Maelstrom buildup is great. Go Bloodtorn. Not even Bloodtorn. Just go Orchid. We talked about it in the Game 1 draft. Orchid is like the one true solution to any carry's problem. Look, just gives you really good stats, good silence. Why not just go for that? And speaking of Bloodseeker, you know what? The one aspect of him that got buffed was his Ags, because he's got that weird Ags upgrade now where he bleeds in a circle, very unsanitary, really disgusting to the rest of the heroes. You could go for that and Radiance. With the Blood Rage on you, that's actually good AoE damage. I don't know why we don't. Then again, Radiance, you'd have to farm for Radiance on Bloodseeker. That isn't the fastest, not in meta anymore.
No.
But I think you've got to tackle the Bloodseeker thing with a different angle. You can't just come in, use a Maelstrom. He wasn't good in the last patch as a safe lane. Not as good, at least in Southeast Asia. It's not been that successful.
Yeah.
And that hasn't changed. So you can't just run the same playstyle with no changes to the hero in that aspect and expect better results here, Mike.
Yeah. With that, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we do know that the Bloodseeker is there to counter the Quap and the Pango. Just before anyone says, noob casters, this and that. We know it just doesn't seem to make a difference in our games, because every time we do see Bloodseeker come out, it kind of just loses. So, hopefully it's not a POS 1 Bloodseeker this time. Hopefully it's a position 3. That way it's a bit more acceptable. Because I think POS 1 Bloodseeker is just... It's something else, and it might just be a POS 1 Bloodseeker, John. There's a Night Stalker to come out. To be fair to Motivate.Trust in their draft, they've got a Leshrac, they've got a Night Stalker. You've basically got 3 cores that can essentially turn into carries in some way. So, it's still a good Bloodseeker game. All jokes aside, it's a great Bloodseeker game. So much value here against the Quap Pango. Even though, for anyone that doesn't know, you can dodge rupture damage by blinking as Quap. Used to call that the Shadow Blink back in Dota All-Stars for all you newer players out there. Gotta make a half step. A half step, Jonathan.
Pretty much. And I think the one thing that doesn't give me confidence in Bloodseekers, we just saw Polaris play against 4 Pangolier counters in one game. And that didn't work. We have 1 Pangolier counter in this game. Probably not enough, because it doesn't stop Force from doing what he wants. Maybe it's more annoying for the Quap. As you mentioned, you can just half step and blink. So the Rupture is not the big issue. The Blood Right might be the bigger issue. And I think for Motivate.Trust, their timings are a lot faster. So maybe that's where the shining light is at. Because last time when we saw Neon do this, they had this off-lane Beastmaster that just stayed in the lane farming. And I think this time around, Motivate.Trust will be more active. In that sense, the Bloodseeker does work out really well. Heck, you have the Blood Rage combination with Leshrac. So you have more spell amp coming through, although we never see that.
Whoa.
I would love to see that aspect of Bloodseeker working out. Polaris, they do take the Nature's Prophet for Natsumi.
Oh,
Remember,
no.
Natsumi used to play on Neon with Skem, so he maybe picked up some tips from his time there.
I bet he
Keen
did.
to see how much he gets out there. Yeah.
Very scary for my pubs, John. Pos 1 Nature's Prophet apparently back in the meta, at least in Polaris Esports' eyes, so very, very scary for me right now, but I don't know. It's a bit of a weird draft from Polaris Esports this time around, I want to say. Like, Motivate.Trust, good team fight, good timings, very snowbally. But then you've got Polaris Esports, which, you know, quite frankly, John, just seems a bit all over the place. I don't know how to feel about it. So I'm going to ask you the question, John. Who do you think came out with the better draft?
It's going to sound weird. I think Polaris does come out with a better draft. I just feel like they've got this early timing as well. I think Nature's Prophet to go against IO +1 is good because you can just bail out immediately if you're in danger, especially you have a BKB up, or you can just TP in to help your ally immediately. So you have an instant response to that gank from the IO +1, and you can split push really well. You've got really good tower push coming out with Nature's Prophet pickup, with a Meteor Hammer on OD. MTG still have that with the Lesh, but we've got to see Gotcha Boy kind of kick into gear here. So I think Polaris, considering how they played the last series, with this kind of draft, it still plays into their playstyle really nicely.
Yeah, well, we'll get into it. Game number 1 between Motivate.Trust and Polaris Esports getting underway. See how this one pans out for them. We'll see if we are going to see a Bloodseeker win, you know, this week or this year, you know, this decade, perhaps. So Motivate.Trust looking to make it work.
It would win. It would win in a couple of games. Only on one player, I think, is the only team that we ever felt confident with. Bloodseeker was Rogers Pos 5.
Right.
True. It's never... The offlane's kind of on and off. Safe lane just hasn't been winning. And I remember that all the way back to when Drew used to be in the DPC. Right? Drew would love his Pos 1 Bloodseeker and Lifestealer, and it also didn't work. So it's been a while for core Bloodseeker, for us, at least in the games we cast, where it's just underwhelming. We'll have to see what Toy can bring out, but hopefully he does something different with it. Hopefully he does manage to find a way to really make it work outside of just a Pango counter.
Speaking of Pango, Polaris Esports, they have kind of rotated through the river, the Radiant side of things, trying to scout out if there was any wards being placed, but they've placed the ward on the Dire high ground, the Dire cliff, on the left side of the mid lane, so maybe they get scouted out doing so. I mean, Xavius is having a look around right now and may have seen them. Natsumi now being spotted. They might actually try and force the first blood here onto the Prophet. They are going to wrap around, trying to abuse the fog. They're just everywhere on Motivate. Xavius, he's gone too far. He's going to get stunned up here on this Queen of Pain, and he's just dead. Just Motivate.Trust, they just completely dominate this area of the map and eventually give first blood over to that Pos 1 Bloodseeker we keep talking about.
Yeah, they make it work. They give a really nice kill away. You can see Polaris giving the tip out to Xavius. Xavius going to give it back to Natsumi. We'll have to see if they can not get too shaken by that initial kill being given out, as we do see the lanes break out down bot. Of course, Force is going to be hanging around with Xavius, so it's a Pangolier Quap lane, which can get really aggressive if you want to. And already seeing Xavius just getting the Shadow Strike off, trading right clicks with Toy, making it hard for him to gap close. Boomboy is going to help Toy in the Bloodseeker on his Lion, and you do have a lot of control here. Like, Boomboy can just get the Earth Spike off, combination with Blood Right is set up, so you do have some great laning presence here. But we have already seen Force work this lane before. Once he does have the confidence to come up with a shield crash, it can be a bit hard to force him away. So we'll see how much Force can get out this time. I think the big issue is for Xavius Quap. Right, it's a fairly greedy position for it, doesn't have much control, and it can make it hard for Force to feel safe here without any way of cancelling off the spells or at least cutting off the side of Motivate.
Yeah, certainly agree with that, John. Of course, over in the mid lane, Lelouch against Gotcha Boy. Now, we saw the OD earlier on. Wasn't doing too flash hot, even with that Meteor Hammer. Do you still think Lelouch can make this OD work, or should Gacha Boy have an advantage in this mid lane?
It's definitely a little bit easier for Gacha Boy. Every time Arcane Orb isn't up, Gacha Boy's not under threat of being shoved away, and he can just farm faster. You do have to watch that timing, though.
Yeah, Xavier spot lane. In the meantime, John getting Boom Boy down, but Toy now going to chase down Xavius and might actually have a kill potential here. So he needs a few more hits, but the Fairy Fires are out, and Xavius going to turn right back around and harass Toy a little bit. Nice little pick up there for Polaris Esports at that bot lane.
They managed to make it work. It's that leveled spike for Forest, just jumps in with a shield crash, gets the swash off. The damage is good. And again, you still have presence here for Motivate, but you have to watch yourself when you trade. The Quap is a really good trading hero, even with a lack of control. Once Shadow Strike is leveled up to 2-3, it's hard for a line to trade hits directly. And it's hard for a Bloodseeker to just position himself well. Xavius is just doing a good job of securing pulls, ensuring that Force will always have the favorable lane stability here.
This last lane as well, John. Top lane, you've got Tigger and Massa can be there against Natsumi. And of course, you've got Mavis on that Pos 5 Bane. For now, it does seem like Natsumi's having a great old time on this Prophet. And Nature's Prophet is one of those heroes that is, you know, a specialist in just dominating the lane with the treants, so it is to be expected. I suppose if you're Motivate, you are going to just currently be waiting for nighttime to kick in to really be able to do anything in this lane.
Yeah, but it's a stable lane, and that once that nighttime does kick in, and it's a very strong lane with the overcharge. Masa can just run down, try to get some kills. You are going to be looking for probably level 5 is when you're really comfy on the Night Stalker. That's still a ways off. You're doing a great job here in Polaris to just slow that lane down as much as possible.
Nice pick off down at bot lane though. Toy able to take down Xavius on that Quap. It's one of the things, if you can land that Blood right with the Earth Spike and Hex setup from Boom Boy, it is a fairly easy kill onto the Queen of Pain.
Yeah, doesn't take much. Not much durability in the Quap. And not much you can really do. And then Blink level 1 is a fairly long cooldown. They are being aggressive up top, though.
Yeah, they've got him. Great body blocks out from the treants from Natsumi. And now Tigger will be chased down, though he does have creeps to tether to. So he's going to be okay. So much pressure at this top lane for Motivate.Trust, and it's very hard to deal with. Especially because Natsumi, again, he's just having a very free time.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see what Natsumi does farm up. We talked about Orchid. Could be a really nice build-up for our Nature's Prophet as well. Not going to take too long to farm up there, and that will allow him to be really aggressive with the teleportations in. So, keen to see what he does do with the initial farm up, and they're just using the daytime really well. Masa has no presence while daytime's up. He's very durable, but that's about it.
This. Look at the blocks. Masa getting blocked completely, though now he'll just turn onto Mavis. Mavis going to be okay to walk out. Natsumi's still standing his ground, trying to micro these treants around. And Masa, oh, it's the Warcraft 3 block, but they do expire. It won't matter, though. He is still going to drop. Oh, I just love seeing it, John. Every time I see the wraparound from the treants, I just get memories from Dota All-Stars.
Oh, yeah. It's just the classic. Surround them, let them have no way of getting out. Masa's off to a much slower start than you'd want now, despite maybe having that durability on hand. There's no fall through. It is nighttime now. This is the moment where you would want to be aggressive on your Night Stalker, but he's still stuck at level 3, so he doesn't have the levels necessary, the experience necessary to have that presence.
Natsumi already so confident to move in onto Gacha Boy with Xavius here. Oh, this could be a very dominant game here for Polaris. It just seems like you're having this good of a game on this Prophet, John. Natsumi rotating this early on. If they can keep this going, it could be another quick one.
It does feel that way. It snowballs really hard in Polaris. You have to remember they take objectives very fast with the NP, although you can do the same with Leshrac on the side of Motivate. That has given some room for Masa to regain in lane. You know, Natsumi did have to teleportation down, no TP left. I think you're finding enough. Force dropping low, though.
He's going to be fine with the swash. You can't really kill the Pango off until you have that Rupture up, unless you land the Blood right, but it was already kind of used up here, so they do at least force to go back towards the fountain, get the reset going. That's going to free up the lane a little bit for Toy, who is farming very well in the Bloodseeker, by the way. 35-3, nothing to scoff at. Toy is doing a great job in terms of CS. Do you have any predictions as to itemization here for Toy? Do you think any items per se would be the way to go here for this Bloodseeker?
down mid still for that.
Yeah, Meteor Hammer's up as well. Lelouch just rushing it as the first item. It's gonna land. Still, there is an IO to help, but it won't really help that much. The hammer has been dropped, and now Tigger will just slowly be chased down here by Xavius, and Natsumi takes the kill. Nature's Wrath, just so much damage. And that's already 4 kills to this Nature's Prophet, John. We're only 7 minutes in.
It's a spectacular start for Natsumi. He's just able to balance farm and aggression really well. Masa's still stuck at level 4, Natsumi at 6. So that initial nighttime spike for the Night Stalkers also not there. Level 5 is his comfort spot. Not quite, and they're not going to be able to alleviate that anytime soon, although Gotcha Boy will work his way up there.
Nope, this is the split earth. Mavis is going to Nightmare, but will eventually die. Nice Nightmare take there from our Night Stalker, but John, Gotcha Boy leaves mid lane. Look what's happening to him. That's a lot of damage onto that mid-tier 1 tower, and that's without the Meteor Hammer. Now it does fly in. That tower's gone. There is no protecting that, I don't think. Is he going to try and move in, but the Astral's there, and yeah, they get it very easily.
No problems out from Polaris. It's just that push potential, the aggression you can have with Nature's Prophet. It's just so quick. And back to what you were asking me for Toy's build-up. I don't think you want to go Maelstrom, although it does make sense against a Treant Protector for the wave clear. It just doesn't provide you with much more than right-click, and Toy does get caught out here.
Oh, that he does. Nightmare gonna hold him down, but they don't have anything like a Fiend's Grip to really lock him down. As Xavius gonna jump in. There goes Boom Boy, just getting brain sapped by our Bane, and Toy, all he can do is run. He does run very fast, to be fair, but he'll need to keep going as Lelouch is... Oh boy, this could... No, never mind. Lelouch, he won't know he's farming just towards the south. Or does he? Pings her out. Toy, he's gonna get caught. So someone gave the call out that the Bloodseeker was still around, and they have him. Nightmare's available if Mavis wants to, though he doesn't throw it. Toy, still bleeding out to the Shadow Strike, is completely surrounded at the moment. But he's gonna make it as Boom Boy intercepts onto the Bane. Blood Riot is out. Boom Boy is gonna force the Bane away, and there's your TP out from the Bloodseeker. So had they got that Nightmare, they probably would have had the kill. They decide not to, and it doesn't work out.
They do manage to get the space necessary for Gotcha Boy to clear out the top tier 1. They find some map control back here, at least the forward jungle's a little bit more open. They lose their bots here when in exchange. It evens out for Polaris, they're not going to mind too much. I think that does hurt the Bloodseeker a little bit more. TPing home, he can't work his way back to the lane immediately to farm up. He's been cut off from that progress. He is going Maelstrom as they catch out Gotcha Boy top.
Just fighting over 3 bounty runes that were left there for a second. Gotcha Boy, how many did he get of those? He actually got 2 of them. No, never mind. He got 1.
Got 1.
Yeah. He just ran into 3 bounties. We have a PC restarting apparently.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh boy. Windows update again. Probably. Sounds
yeah.
like. Hopefully it doesn't cause issues there for Natsumi. You know, for some reason he was calling me Nathan in the lobby. I don't know why.
Well, I thought you
I guess if he says, yeah, it's in my name, sure, in my actual name. I mean, he's John. I'm John Nathan, so maybe that's why he didn't want to say John, because that would be both of us. So he called him John.
Hold
and
on,
we just said each other's name back to back. I don't know what was up.
Your first name is John, though, right? It's not John Nathan.
Yes. No. Well, legally, it's John Space Nathan.
Right, so it's a middle name.
So that is my actual... No, it's technically my first name. In the Philippines, your first name is whatever. Then your family name is, of course, your father's last name. Your middle name in this country is your mother's maiden name. You know, her family name before marriage. That's technically your middle name.
Okay.
Right? So that's it. It's a weird place, this country, Mike. The Philippines is a very silly place, as you would know.
No, well, how would I know, John? I've never been there.
Well, you've interacted with a lot of us. You know we're silly people.
I don't think you're silly people, John. I come from Australia, of all places. You're a ridiculous person. I do agree with that, John. Not gonna put all the Filipinos under the bus just because JohnXFire is a bit of a ridiculous person.
Oh, the crowd grown as well. Tigger heard that. You are right, though. I mean, I keep forgetting Australia is a real place. So
it is.
I just forget how strange it is.
Either that or you're talking to an imaginary person from an imaginary place, John.
I could be that insane, Mike. Could be doing both voices. Who knows? Putting on a virtual virtual camera for you.
Oh, I don't know if we can consider it a real camera right now, John, considering what it's been feeding through to me, I'll tell you. It's been plenty of NFTs, at least. Plenty of NFT potential. I'm taking as many screenshots as possible while we cast, John.
Yeah, good. Get them minted to the moon, as they say, Mike. Get it to the moon. No rugs here.
We'll see how long this pause takes. But I mean, the current state of the game. I mean, 2K net worth advantage for Polaris. They are just completely dominating right now, and it seems like with how active Natsumi is on this profit, it's going to be a very, very scary situation. Is that an Orchid already on the way?
It does look like it. Yeah,
Nothing on the courier, though.
No. He might be buying it out. You know, going to the secret shop first. Yeah, he's camping. He's going to get that mana ring out and Voidstone, and he's going to be really strong. It's finally seeing the Orchid. We talked about that build up for NP. You just TP, get the silence. You have a lot of attack speed. It's the be-all, end-all of carry items right now. You know, it's the all-rounder. Anyone can build it. Anyone can have a good time with it. And I like it for Natsumi. He's just been so aggressive. It's going to help him out with his rotations. There you go. You got to love that change. 40 attack speed, 30 damage. Like, why?
Top lane. Didn't have the Meteor Hammer to really try and set up onto Massa. Pings are still coming out, though, and had you had the Meteor Hammer, Natsumi could have came in to help out with that kill, but they are going to miss out for now. In the meantime, I suppose Motivate, they are just trying to secure more farm on Garchuk. It's Polaris. Still looking to move into that Radiant Triangle. Is Mavis even going to show up now on Lelouch? He is going to set up into the Rolling Thunder, but they have the Dark Ascension. Massa was waiting. Sonic Wave, but no, the Nightmare. It makes it so he jukes it out. They still found Karcher, though. But Mavis will die for his sins. Natsumi also dying across the map to Toy, and so does Force. As Lelouch is going to try and TP away, but he's not going to make it. They get completely wiped out by Motivate.Trust. Oh, just a bit of a mess there. Maybe not expecting Masros to be around.
Yeah, that's all the change they needed. Dark Ascension up, the Crippling Fear does a lot of work in the middle, and they managed to get a good position to just pin down the side of Polaris. Really good Rupture coming through from Toy, and good use of the Diabolic Edict from Gacha before dying, because that left the residual damage for Force to just kind of fall off. So unfortunate for Polaris, they did force that fight. It's not like they have level 6 up on Mavis. Very close. Like if he had the grip, that might have ended up differently.
Massa. You know they're hunting this Night Stalker right now. I mean, it is daytime. He's being very cautious in this top lane, just trying to make sure he does avoid showing whatsoever. So rest of Motivate.Trust, again, just buying more time for Toy. He is getting on towards that Maelstrom timing now. Polaris Esports maybe just taking a backseat themselves after that last engagement to give themselves a few more items, as Lelouch is very far forward mid lane. I suppose without the tier 1 tower there, though, Motivate.Trust are not going to feel confident enough to try and force the fight. Assuming maybe the rest of the team was right behind that OD. So you look back at top lane, I mean, they are still staring down Massaros, but it's only Force and Mavis, and they won't have enough to take care of the Night Stalker himself. And now Motivate, they've smoked up as 3. Question is, where are they headed? Well, they are going to head up north. That banner being taken, though, is going to be underneath vision, so they should know where they are. They already have rolled in onto Massa, but Toy has TP'd in to try and help out. And that amounts to nothing. In the meantime, Mavis may be caught. He'll try for the TP, but there's your Split Earth out from Garchuk. Another nice kill for Motivate.Trust.
They managed to find a little bit of something for their trouble. I think the side of Polaris is fine, just kind of playing this farm game right now. Natsumi's been working jungle really well. Lelouch has not been contested in the mid lane. He's got his Midas up, and they can kind of take it easy from here. They've got really good scaling into the late game. BKBs are going to be up next for Polaris. That will negate all the output of Gacha, and then you have to ask yourself, is your output on Toy enough to overcome? It doesn't feel like it just yet. He does have a Maelstrom. They will Dark Ascension.
the Prophet they go. They found a massive target in Natsumi, and they completely blow him up. Great pick off for Motivate once again, finding that primary target. Still on the other side of things, Masteros has also been caught, but he had the Dark Ascension, so he's going for a run. It just won't be enough. Be a 1-for-1 across the map. Still very favorable here for Motivate.Trust.
You lose Natsumi, it's pretty big. Mavis is setting up for top, though.
He is. Fiend's Grip is up, but they want Gacha. They're going to find him here with Xavius, and there's your Fiend's Grip being committed. The IO unable to help out right now as they even commit the Sonic Wave just in case. Well, they won't quite get the IO, but that's a great pick-off now for Polaris Esports.
Yeah, that's pretty big. They've been farming up mainly on Gacha Boy. They know they've got to get the Slash up and running. They want to be able to do a lot of damage with his magic before the BKBs come true. And it feels like that window is starting to slip. He is number 1 in net worth, not by much, and Lelouch is being aggressive here.
Then he is. Who's he got? Oh, it's going to be the Lion, but the damage is not quite there yet. And in fact, Lelouch now, he might be the one in danger as the rotations have started. Gacha is going to show up. It's just going to be to make sure that Boom Boy does remain protected. They'll go for a 5-man smoke up with this. They'll try to make something happen. The Die Triangle, Mavis is in position to break the smoke though, so it won't be the greatest kill if they only run into the Bane. Lelouch is going to run straight away after seeing Motivate.Trust. Meanwhile, Mavis is doing the exact same thing, but Massa does see him. They've got that night vision. Problem is they cannot keep up. Mavis just kind of outrunning them with those Tranquils up, and this 5-man smoke really amounts to nothing.
No, they get to take control of the triangle. Some of the creeps were already cleared out by OD, so they're not getting as much farm. That's a lot of room for Natsumi to play the spot lane, keep his shove out, keep his treants farming up. And they know where the side of Motivate.Trust are playing, so they take over the top jungle instead, keep the build up. No rush here from Polaris, 90-11, 1k lead their way, not much. But as this game scales on, it does feel like the scaling of Motivate.Trust will slow down, although Xavius.
Yeah, Xavius caught out Boom Boy. Gonna set up here for Gacha with the relocate. A nice easy support kill for Motivate.Trust once again. Polaris Esports right now not really getting too involved, though there is gonna be another Astral into a Meteor Hammer. It's gonna be Boom Boy once again being targeted, but the damage is not really there. He's still alive. He's gonna make it out for now. Lelouch, though, is still chasing him down. Meanwhile, towards the south, they've got the Fiend's Grip, however, onto Gacha. That's a much bigger target, but they can't deal with him. Not with the Tigger on the IO, just keeping him safe, though. Force is still trying, but he may have gone too far. Rupture's there, Toy. Gonna try and hold him down. Lelouch will protect with the Astral. Massa gonna cancel the salve off Force. Just having such a rough time here trying to survive. They'll salve him up again. In fact, they'll give him another salve. Just in case he needs it. He's gonna be alright.
You gotta love the shovel, Mike. Those salves do come in clutch in some situations, and Force gonna be happy. They don't really find much for their trouble, so I think Motivate.Trust are also very happy with the outcome. They're not dropping their big core. The Polaris are amping up the aggression. They know they've already forced out the Dark Ascension, so Massa is not going to be flying around the next team fight. This will allow them to commit for an objective, and it's going to be harder for MTG to find the angle without that Dark Ascension.
Lane Toy. Oh, Toy!
Ooh, what?
Oh, Toy, he underestimated how much AoE that Meteor Hammer had. It landed on him and he just gets blown up. I'm not sure what he was thinking.
I mean, the AoE did get buffed up, Mike, from 315 to 400. You're just not used to that slightly wider AoE, gets clipped at the edge as the Roche opens up for Polaris. Again, without Dark Ascension, this is a hard fight to take, and without Bloodseeker for the Rupture to stop the roll, definitely not a fight you want to force. So first, Roshan goes away with Polaris. Second Life to go away with Natsumi. The BKBs we were talking about, Mike, not too far off now, at least for our NP. And once that's up, you're going to have less issues with Leshrac, less issues with Night Stalker. It becomes much tougher for Motivate.Trust to pin someone down here. And I think that's really just a worry. Their lineup excels early. They haven't been able to get as much as they want, and now Polaris can go for smoke plays.
They're going to run right into Gacha and Tigger. Motivate, they do back off at the exact right moment. Thunder going to be committed. Force going to go through the tree line, trying to figure out where they are. Masteros actually duking them out for now, but Mavis may have spotted that. Oh no, they don't see him yet. Mavis, oh, he doesn't check. Surely you check. Oh, there you go, they found him. Beans Rip is there. I mean, Masteros, he was so close to be able to get himself out, but just not quite enough.
And that's a pretty nice kill to take. And you do want to keep that Night Stalker pinned down. Masa's had a very slow game. Barely above Xavius on the pause for Quap in terms of net worth. This side of Motivate.Trust are just trying to buy space out for Toy, trying to buy space out for Gotcha Boy. They will go for a relocate.
Yeah, TPs are coming in, but they do blow up Lelouch immediately as now Force does move in. It does take out the Lion. In fact, they've even got Tigger and Gotcha. He is completely surrounded. He's going to try and fight this one out. It's going to be a double kill, though, to go the way of Natsumi. It's not really worth the OD kill, that's for sure.
No, you have to respect the damage output of any hero with Orchid. With the attack speed and damage up, it's pretty painful. But a hero can do it or right clicks at that point. And again, you've got Nature's Prophet to deal with Io. When you see that commitment, you've got another hero to throw into the fray. And you can just help alleviate that numbers disadvantage. Toy?
Yeah, Toy. This is a dangerous spot to farm in Toy. He's fast. He is trying to just outrun the Pango, but it's not going to work. And now Boom Boy has rotated to try and save his carry, but he's also going to drop. Very risky spot to farm in. He ends up paying for it.
That's a big set of kills for Polaris now. They're not punishing the Leshrac, but you are killing off their win, sort of their win condition in Bloodseekers. They go for more.
They're going to try. Astral is there onto Masteros, but he's okay. Beans Grip not up on the Bane at the moment, so they aren't going to go too much in for Garcha. They'll just leave. Well, the 4K net worth advantage, Polaris Esports not going to risk throwing another fight the way of Motivate. And you'd have to argue anyway with Motivate.Trust's draft, it almost seems like they have a time limit. You know? Like, Leshrac might be okay later on, but it does start to feel like the Bloodseeker Night Stalker just kind of fall off.
Yeah, it really does. I think Masa's going to have a second wind once he has the blink up, so you can find easier angles, immediately just get the Crippling Fear onto, say, Lelouch, and pin down that OD, immediately burst him down before Astral Saves can come in. Side of Motivate.Trust are going for a smoke play. They've got vision on Mavis, but that's a Bane. It's not really the hero you want to kill here.
Boom Boy and Massa, they're going to find Mavis, so they're gonna take what they can get right now, John. Not the best, not the worst. I mean, it kind of is the worst, but, you know, it's something. In the meantime, mid lane, Garcha's got to be careful not to get caught. Lelouch has a blink up and is on the chase. They'll find Tigger on that IO. Rolling Thunder immediately going to be committed. Natsumi to TP in as well, as Lelouch is still having a look around. They do blink the wrong way, and now Motivate might be able to try and capitalize off this. Natsumi immediately TPing out, and it seems like they made Justice Force is going to be left behind. They'll try to save the Knights, or rather the Pango, but Gotcha Boy is going all the way for this kill. Or are they going too far? Natsumi, he's coming back in, but Gotcha does have the BKB up. Lelouch now has been ruptured. He has the Astral, but he is very low in terms of HP, and Natsumi, he also got caught by Boom Boy. It looks like he is set to fall, and he will cop the finger. But that'll be the Aegis. See if they can take him down one more time as Toy moved in onto Mavis. They'll get rid of the Bane. Big Sonic Wave out. They are trying on the Garchun. They will get the Leshrac. That might just be it, though. And Lelouch brought back for this, so they want a lot more than that. Masteros is stuck between a rock and a hard place, and it looks like he will be the next to fall. So the buyback doesn't feel quite as bad, at least for Lelouch. It does seem like it's still a better fight for Motivate, though, in the end.
Even though they lose their big cores, they are behind enough that the snowball from Polaris is offsetting those losses. So it feels pretty nice for Motivate.Trust. You get a lot more coming through here for Toy. The Bloodseeker does get to keep building up. He's got the fresh BKB ready. A 9-second charge in all of these fights. It makes it hard for really mainly Mavis to find a good grip target. Like, you've got to balance out. Do you want to just grip up the BKB user? Do you want to grip up the Leshrac? It forces a bit of a choice, and it's been pretty difficult for Mavis to get a full-on Fiend's Grip in the middle of these wider engagements. They just have so much AoE stuns and silences on the side of Motivate to make it uncomfy for the Bane. So we'll have to see how much more Mavis can get out. His Aether Lens is almost done, so that will help the cost just a tad bit. And Polaris overall still holds a 5k lead. They're scaling really nicely here with Natsumi, who has his own Maelstrom up. He can split push even if these fights don't work out well.
Boomboy's currently being surrounded here on that line. He's going to spot him. Lelouch, he was being targeted. But Xavius gives enough info away to the OD to make this relocate. Kind of just wasted here for Motivate. Suppose they do at least get the outpost. And something. Certainly not able to maximize that relocate now. And well, an immediate smoke up here from Polaris, knowing that they're alone in this Radiant jungle. And Toy, he's still around. Pings are out, they're chasing. They want that Bloodseeker. But Motivate know they've got to back off ASAP. Still Natsumi is going to make the jump in with his BKB out. Toy forced the BKB on his own. They've already got Boomboy gone. Mavis, he was unable to get in range for the Fiend's Grip. So he could not hold down the Bloodseeker. That'll be it.
Yep. Both sides kind of popping your BKBs for not much. And that will feel pretty painful for both sides. Don't think you mind too much on Polaris. Find a kill, you retake the outpost. You're still working the lanes really strong. You're keeping them all shoved in. The side of Motivate are forced to really just pour this farm onto Gotchboy. And as you mentioned, Mike, it's just a question of, is this worth it? Is the Leshrac really the worthwhile investment into the late game? Because BKBs are up and running. Physical damage does feel like it takes precedence, and those BKBs are still pretty long in duration as well. They are going to shove in mid. Natsumi is back into the lane, and doesn't take too long for that shove to come in. The Blood Right will hold it back. But that's the Blood Right used on the Treants, not the actual creep wave here.
T2 mid tower still on the siege. Siege creep has been left, and Treants are coming in. Motivate. I mean, I'm sure they know this is kind of bait. Master's still going to move in to try and deal with this, however. They'll even glyph up the siege creep just for a bit more damage. Eventually it is going to go. Masteros, Toy, both showing up now. Polaris is still very patient, just waiting here for that right moment. But it doesn't seem like they're going to make the jump in for now. So they'll just leave them be. In the meantime, Natsumi's getting on towards that Eye of Skadi now, and that's going to be scary to deal with.
Yep. And it'll just negate the durability coming through here from the Aya to an extent, taking off some of that healing, way more stats, harder to burst down, and the slow just makes it really easy to kite heroes. Boomboy?
Yeah, gone.
Yeah, just gets taken out. Roche in half a minute, no ruin spawning around that time. And Polaris does have good control there, but there are some good wards coming out from Motivate, so they can look for a counterplay here.
Natsumi, that'd be a massive pick here for Masteros. He's going to rush for it too. He has Dark Ascension up, so they might be able to go for this. He pulls out the BKB. Master will have to do the same. They relocate him out as well. That's kind of left Garcha alone though. Force, he's having a look around. Garcha, he's going to get hit. Rupture is there though. Astral to try and save. Garcha pops his own BKB. Onto Lelouch they go. They have killed off Force, and it seems like Polaris are the ones that need to back off. As Motivate just back and forth actually end up coming out with the kill on their own side of things.
They managed to get it to work, and now they can also pressure the top here too. It is nighttime as well. Natural night with Dark Ascension still waiting on Masa. So they don't really want to deal with that Night Stalker with the BKBs down. That has given Natsumi space to farm up though. They will make moves down bot, but...
Oh, Xavius. Yeah, very aggressive flank in from Xavius, and he's going to get punished here by Boomboy. Another great kill here for Motivate.Trust, and Polaris, they are slowly falling apart in this game number 1. His draft just doesn't... It's starting to fall off, isn't it, John? I mean, especially this OD. Like, the OD just doesn't feel like it's having as much impact as it used to.
Yeah, it's just down to those BKB still being fairly long duration, so it's hurting the Lesh and it's also hurting our OD. And down the line, once it's shorter, it does feel a lot better. And there are still ways to scale here for Lelouch. Ags is still really good. Ag Shard can really help out in repositioning from these ganks, from these engagements as well. Motivate will go on aggressive with smoke. They will spot Roche. And it looks like they'll just go for the Roche. There are some wards here from the side of Polaris, but not directly into Roshan. They've got to get a good feel to contest this, but they will go for a smoke play.
They're gonna hurry up. Scan is there. Force immediately into the Rolling Thunder. Does find Gacha. That's a great target. They'll force the BKB out. Still Force now dying to the Rupture. Needs to back off. Relocate is there. Back on the Leshrac. They've got him out with his BKB. Toy is running up trying to fight, but the Sonic Wave's gonna be there. Natsumi now. He'll turn right back around on Gacha Boy. And they'll get another relocate out, but Gacha's still here. Oh boy. Into Tigger. They might just find another here as the buybacks are flying in from Motivate.Trust. They want to fight over this Roshan. It's going to be rough though. It's still a 3v5 scenario here for Motivate. So they buy back on the IO now, but do they want to buy back on Toy? They'll go back for the Roshan. Very risky play from Motivate.Trust. Forces in, he'll scan out. Flash is out onto Gacha. Natsumi showing up now. They'd love the Leshrac kill, but a big split earth is there. Locking 2 down. In the meantime, the OD has also been caught out, but Lelouch will happily turn back in onto Boom Boy. That'll be the Lion. Dead with the dieback. And Roshan is still open here for either side, and Polaris, they're going to get away with this.
Doesn't take long. The Aegis does go away from Natsumi. Lelouch will take the shard, and they're gonna go for more.
Yeah, Force, he's in trouble. He'll go for the roll-up, and is gonna die. Lelouch maybe has gone too far as well, but he does at least take down the IO. But he will drop, or at least go for the Astral and just walk away with the shards out. And Gacha's gonna die back as well. Just massive mistakes being made from Motivate.Trust as they force the fight after the Roshan with all those buybacks, and it's high risk, but what reward do you get out of it?
You get nothing. You might lose more. Mavis is catching out, but it's him by himself. He forces a BKB.
And gets a Fiend's Grip. Natsumi, he won't mind that. He doesn't need the BKB not to be up. That's going to be Masaros now dying. Luckily for Motivate.Trust, Masaros did not buy back.
Yeah, he's going to be able to show up in the next fight if they want it. They've got Dark Ascension ready on that buyback. Polaris just take everything. They're in a really good spot. When the last set wins, they can siege very fast with this Nature's Prophet. They've got to do something to stop this. And it's just so hard to catch people out now with that free shard out on Lelouch. Everyone can just kind of run away scot-free. Yeah. Just a lot of time to reposition and blink out. And Motivate, their high ground hold isn't the best. They've got Blood right, at the least, with the Blood Rage, so they can't clear out the creep waves, but they can't really stop the push.
You gotta be careful still. I mean, Lelouch can blink in at any moment to go for the Astral setup. The Toy really has to keep his distance here to just keep throwing those Blood Rights out. That'll be the mid-racks down. Polaris, do you want to go for more? And they still have that Aegis up on Natsumi, but it does seem like they have to address the side lanes anyway. And there is still a top tier 2 tower to go. So maybe they go for the bot lane first and start rotating around towards top. But now Natsumi, he'll just deal with the bot lane himself.
Just shove out. There's still a tier 2 up top as well if they want to kind of take that down the line. No need to rush here in Polaris. I think they're very confident now under scaling. They understand that they've got a significant advantage. There's not much growth coming out from Motivate.Trust. Toy is trying to go for the Scotty next. And we have seen him do some good damage in the middle of these fights, but it's not quick enough. And Scotty will definitely help the cause. More durability for him as well. But Polaris are set up for bot, and they are going to go for with a smoke plate. They're going to scout the high ground.
Force is in. Nobody's in the base right now. Would you look at that? Rolling Thunder. Oh, we found one. There's Masaros. Surprise, Massa. That'll be the tier 3 bot tower. At least. Keep in mind, Massa has that buyback. Oh, they found Gacha Boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, that is a dieback on Gacha once again. And Tigger, yeah, he's gone to boot. That'll be a dieback on him. Well, that's a guaranteed bot lane of barracks. Could they go for T4s? I mean, it seems like they probably can.
Yeah. Nothing to stop them. If they know there are no buybacks for defense, they've got a lot of time. 50 seconds on the Lesh. They don't mind. Sure, Blood Right's there to annoy them a bit. The creep waves are still going to flow in, and the damage is there on Natsumi. So, go all the way. Last set of towers, well, not the last set of towers, as there are tier 3s up top, but the most important towers of the game are falling down, and the Ancient's going to be exposed.
And it will be. Master Ross, he's back up, and again, he has the Ascension, but he's kind of lacking his Leshrac right now as the Rolling Thunder going to catch out their Bloodseeker. They can't afford to lose Toy at the moment. Not like this. He'll get back towards the fountain, will survive another day as they're onto Boom Boy instead. They'll get the Lion, and now they've got Massa locked in. Meteor Hammer's going to land. He doesn't have buyback. He spent his gold.
Oh.
Well, this is a bit awkward now that you've got Gacha Boy back up, John.
Yep, they'll try.
I mean, Ancient is exposed. Toy's been locked down with a Nightmare. Maybe they can get the Aegis off Natsumi, but he's just trying to man-fight back, and he might actually be able to do it. Gacha needs to run. He can't actually man-fight this Nature's Prophet at the moment, as they got rid of Tigger, they've got rid of Toy, they've called the GG. So Polaris Esports, while it did look a little bit rocky with this draft, they still pull off the Game 1 victory against Motivate.Trust.
Yeah, it's just back to how they were playing in that first series. We know the aggression Polaris loves to pull off. Motivate.Trust, they did have some counter picks on hand. You know, the Blood, the Rupture was making it hard for the Pangolier to actually get some good rolls in a lot of those fights. And we were seeing some good synergy out with Toy and Boomboy. Blood Right with Earth Spike was a lot of laning damage. Not much Xavius could do to stop it. But as the game went on, he just had this really strong start coming out from Natsumi. He just managed to really get a lot of farm. Masa couldn't slow down that lane. And they were finding a lot of kills on Masa with some great blocks. We've got to see Motivate.Trust kind of do something else. Pos 1 Bloodseeker is just, it hasn't been really great. And when you're up against a team like Polaris, you can't afford heroes that are just very understood. You know what a Bloodseeker does. For the most part, it's Maelstrom BKB. No one's deviated from that in about a year. And if you're not going to deviate, then Polaris will understand exactly what you want to do and just be able to counteract it well.
No, I certainly agree with you on that, John. I think it's enough Bloodseekers, I think, is that we haven't seen one win at all recently. So we'll head off to a short break, and right after that break, we're going to be back with our final game of the night between Polaris and... Whoa! Excuse me, turned the music on a bit too early. Between Polaris and Motivate.Trust. We'll see you all very soon.